Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here, and welcome back to the series on how to lose fat. This is one of the most requested series on this YouTube channel, so I decided to put this together. A little bit of housework here, I suppose, house cleaning, whatever you want to call it. Before we get started in this video is going to be about supplements that help with fat loss. Okay, but before we get into that, make sure that you check out the playlist of all the videos on this How to Lose Fat series. I think this is like video 10 or 11 or 12 or something like that. There's a couple more to come. And make sure you click the subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss any of the videos that come out here. So, okay, I want to talk about today the supplements that you can use to lose fat. Now, I'll be straight up front and honest with you. Most of the shit is not going to work. It's not going to help you, and it's not even worth doing. But I'll tell you from my own personal experience, and I always use that because this is one of the things too, as I'll tell you as well, in the fitness industry, test the shit on yourself to see what works. For a couple of reasons. One, because a lot of people are bullshitting you, trying to sell you things. And two, a lot of people work differently and have different results from things as well. So I always test stuff on myself and see what works, and you got to adapt and find out what's going to work for you. So supplement wise, okay, we'll start with kind of the basics here of some of the supplements that can help with fat burning, and we'll just kind of go through these. So the number one thing that like is generally used for fat burning are the Thermogenics, right? You can see these products, right, like Hydroxycut, and I'm gonna try not to name too many names, but pretty much every supplement company has its own thermogenic fat burner. And the way that these things work is that they have caffeine, which has been shown to increase metabolism, and then they usually have some kind of like aspirin, basically, or Yohimbine or Yohimbine, basically maybe some green tea extract, right? A couple of the things, maybe cinnamon or red pepper, right? A lot of the things that have been shown in some small way to potentially increase fat burning. Now, the problem is that this stuff doesn't really work, at least not to a noticeable degree, right? I've tried a lot of Thermogenics, and I think caffeine probably increases your metabolism a little bit, but not a very noticeable amount. So if you're trying to lose fat, right, if you're overweight, right, it's not going to make that much of a difference. Like, I wouldn't focus on this stuff. I really wouldn't waste my money on this kind of stuff because it's just not going to make enough of an impact for it to probably be worth it for you. And it may actually make you a little bit, you may be expecting to get better results, and you might be a little bit disheartened by getting no results from this, right? So definitely there's some science behind some of these thermogenic products, and it makes sense from a scientific standpoint, but when the rubber hits the road, like in actual usage, I haven't seen very good results at all. Okay, now with that said, a lot of the what used to be the effective fat burners were based off of the ephedrine caffeine aspirin stack, or ECA stack. Now, this is probably more effective, right? A lot of bodybuilders, a lot of people have sworn by this, and I've taken it before, but there's a couple things. Ephedrine's kind of dangerous, and it can cause liver damage, and I actually was taking ephedrine caffeine aspirin. I didn't see a huge improvement in fat loss, but I did see some liver toxicity, which I actually went in for and with the blood test, and it wasn't fun thing. I was like, okay, this is probably not worth poisoning my liver potentially for this small amount of fat loss. But just to be completely transparent with you and to be honest with you, that is an option. A lot of people still do the ECA stack. In fact, that a lot of people today are saying the aspirin doesn't matter. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I'm not going to do it anymore because it's just not worth it. I'm not going to take that risk anymore. With that said, one alternative that I did try that I've gotten somewhat helpful results on, I'm still, like, the jury's still out on this, is the Yohimbine, not Yohimbine, Yohimbine HCl, which is the pure form of the Yohimbine that comes from the Yohimbine bark, okay, with caffeine. And taking that, you have to be fasted though. If you have any insulin in your system, what ends up happening is that it doesn't work. And the way that works is it's basically you have alpha and beta receptors in your fat cells, and so the Yohimbine can actually make it so that it blocks the alpha receptors, which are the easier receptors to burn fat, and so that you're more likely to burn stubborn fat, places where you have beta receptors that that don't let go of the fat quite as easy. Now, I haven't, in theory, this all makes sense. In practicality, I haven't seen like phenomenal results from this. I've been on Yohimbine for quite a bit of time, fasting all day, and I haven't seen enough of results that I would like super really encourage that. Okay, as far as some other supplements, you know, there's a lot of people that say things like CLA works, right? There's all kinds of supplements that you'll find that people will kind of say works for fat burning, but in reality, it doesn't really work, right? I think that the most effective thing that you can do is, like I said before in all the other videos, I keep on emphasizing the diet being in a calorie deficit, okay? Now, I think that there are probably some things that you could do if you're very low body fat and you're trying to push it, you know, to an extremely low level. But for someone who's already like, you know, a good percentage overweight, just messing with this stuff is not worth it at all. Because even if you're going to get a small incremental increase in the fat burning, it's going to be so small compared to what you can do with diet. Okay. One thing that I would recommend taking is creatine. If you're lifting, creatine just makes sense to be taking all the time because it is like one of the most studied and proven effective supplements out there, and it will increase your strength and endurance. A whey protein is probably good. Again, if you're lifting weights, as far as a supplement, I really don't take a huge amount of supplements. Like I said, vitamins, a multivitamin could be good just to make sure you're not deficient, especially if you're trying to burn fat and you're fasting a lot. I take vitamin D, I take magnesium, I supplement extra with that, and basically a multivitamin, and that's pretty much it, right? Like none of this stuff is really super effective. Basically anything that's going to be over the counter and legal, right? There's a bunch of stuff that bodybuilders take that is not legal and is somewhat dangerous that can help accelerate fat burning, but it's not worth taking those risks for most people, especially if you're overweight, right? If you're a bodybuilder and you're trying to get super lean and super cut, it could make more sense. Then it could make more sense. But if you're overweight and you just have a lot of extra fat, it's so much easier to lose that fat just by diet, right? It doesn't become hard or difficult until you get into the really low, you know, like single digit body fat for men and like, you know, the 12-13% body fat for women. That's when it starts to get really hard. So I wouldn't really worry about this kind of stuff. So yeah, so there's no magic pill, unfortunately, out there. You know, and that's the thing to keep in mind is that like there's just not going to be a magic pill. If you want to take a Thermogenic, go ahead, try it, but you're just not going to see phenomenal results, right? Like it's never going to make up for, you know, it'd be so much easier. Like here's the thing, okay, this is what I tell people all the time. It's like, let's say that you take a Thermogenic, okay, and you take these pills, you buy these pills, and you're going to take them like 2 or 3 times a day. How many extra calories are you going to burn a day from that Thermogenic? Well, you know, any study, like the best I think that most studies would show would be somewhere between 100 and 200 calories. Well, you know what, if you want to burn an extra 100 to 200 calories, like guaranteed, then go and run for just a couple miles, right? Just go and run or go for a walk for half an hour and you're going to burn that extra 100 to 200 calories just walking for half an hour, and that's guaranteed, and it's going to be more effective than the Thermogenic, right? Or at least as effective. So that would be my advice is, right, instead of going and trying to do supplements, just like say, okay, I'm going to walk half an hour extra every day, and that's guaranteed going to produce those results. So I know this might not be what you want to hear, right? You know, because I wish there was a magic pill as well, but there's not. So that's it. In the next video, we're going to be talking about how to not gain the fat back, which is really important. So if you've lost the fat and now, you know, you're in this, the biggest thing the problem that people face is they gain it right back. I'm going to talk about some strategies for not doing that. And make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the bell so you don't miss those videos when they come out. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.